Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Cup of the Day podcast. You're joined by myself, Babz, and to my side is Jorday. He's been, well, he didn't fall off the edge of the earth. He was just on the other side of the earth for a little while, but he is now back and he's raring to go again, I'm sure.
Yeah, finally back. 2 months absent of Cup of the Day. I made sure to keep up with it though. Over the 2 months I was gone, but thank God I'm back now, and I think get back to it really. I kind of miss it again. Withdrawal symptoms a little, from doing the podcast. But hey ho, we're here, we're back.
Yeah, it's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get back to it. And Vinka Raiders, anybody for coming over from Jalo Stream, thank you very much for the raid. But we have two other people to present to you, and they are our two guests today. And let's waste no time in introducing them. They are Ender and Epos. Welcome to the episode, guys.
Hello.
Now, you both are from the same team from Wimbo. You've done a lot together recently in a similar sort of friend group, which is one of the main reasons and one of the multiple reasons why it's nice to have you both on at the same time. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about all of that. I think the first thing that we want to do, I think a lot of people watching will know who Epos is, and a lot of people will have seen the most recent news concerning Epos. But coming over to you, Ender, for people who might not know who you are, can you give us some sort of an introduction to who is Ender?
Well, I'm a Trackmania player who's been in the community for now about 6+ years actively. I've been playing games like Trackmania 2 Valley, Lagoon, and recently Canyon. And recently, since 2021 of August, I've been mainly focusing on getting better at the TM 2020. So I've been grinding that game, playing Cup of the Days, trying to play some competitions here and there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me the first time I heard your name is when I heard it pop about the Stadium Trackmaster stuff, when you achieved all that. Could you go through a bit of that and how that process went, really? Because it's quite a hard challenge to do, from what I've heard.
Yeah. So to explain it shortly / briefly, in a game called Trackmania Turbo, you have a campaign of 200 maps, and in all those of 200 maps, you can get medals called Super Trackmasters, which are times driven by pro players hired by Nadeo before the development of the game. And as a super hard secret challenge of that campaign, you can earn all 200 Super Trackmaster medals, STMs. And me and 23 other players have managed to beat this challenge in the 7 years of the game's release. So, yeah, it's a pretty tough challenge because you need to be good in 4 different environments. So, yeah, pretty fun as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an exclusive club, and you're one of the more recent players to achieve that. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, I have done it the first time, I think, in May of 2022, which is quite recent. Yes, only 3 more people have done it since I have done it in May, I think. Not sure. Should need to check it again, but yeah.
Which
And,
game was it in? Okay. Oh yeah, didn't hear
Trackmania
it.
Turbo.
Trackmania Turbo. Okay. Yeah, I need to give these old games a go. I don't know how much they match up to TM 2020, because obviously I know me, Babz, and Epos You started on TM 2020, didn't you, Epos?
Kind of yes, kind of no. Like I actually tried Turbo on Xbox for maybe a month or so back in maybe 2017, something like this. So yeah, I played the game a little bit, but properly, yeah, I started spring 2021, give or take.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I wonder how closely they match up to the old games. Yeah, Ender can give a bit of insight on that, I guess. But I've always wanted to give them a go. And I imagine those Trackmasters are obviously going to be out of my reach, but yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, before we move over to Epos, I think on the podcast as a whole, and maybe the community as a whole, we don't give enough love to these old Trackmania games, those that get a bit less attention than the most recent one. So I'll tell you what, Ender, I'll give you 2 minutes if you can sell us all on why we should all give a go to the old Trackmania games and give them some
just
love.
Trackmania Turbo?
No, any old Trackmania game, predating.
Well, just think about the fact. Alright, so you play TM 2020 and you're looking forward to seasonal campaign releases and content every single time, right? So if you want new campaign, also new physics, you should probably give a go to those old games because they're a breath of fresh air compared to TM 2020. Old, prestigious campaigns, new physics that you can learn to have fun with, new medals to unlock, new skins, everything. So yeah, if you want to experience some free content for hours, you can just play the old games. They're all pretty cheap / free. So yeah, start now.
I mean, I wouldn't have done any better. And I know we have a small niche enough community within the BITM community who play those old games, and there are some fierce rivalries, and I like to keep up with how everybody's doing. So yeah, I'm definitely one person who's going to be trying out some of those old games. But yeah, it's coming over to you, Epos. Obviously, we've already heard from you a little bit. You've been on the podcast before, but can you give us a little summary of who you are? Who is Epos?
I'm basically some early 20s British bloke that likes to play a car game where you go close to walls, you drive fast, and yeah, that's pretty much me. I've always been a little bit competitive, so I tried to get better at the game pretty quick. And yeah, here I am.
Nice, man. That's a pretty good description. I think that probably fits. Like,
what, some early 20s British bloke that likes to play car games?
I think I pretty much fit into that description as well. So
that's most of our demographic.
I think you forgot the part where you're cracked at the game.
Yeah. That's speaking of that. When would you say is like when was the point that you'd say changed everything, right? And you became, up here in terms of skill level? Because for me, it's hard to pinpoint it, but it feels like it came out of nowhere.
I don't know. I don't think there's ever like a set moment where I sort of got pretty good at the game. I feel like it's just been this steady rise, and I haven't really hit a ceiling yet, which is nice. I feel like competitively, I kind of started taking it a little bit more seriously when we had BIPL Season 1, and I wanted to try and push myself, see if I could, I don't know, match Wizzy, Acros, Boz, etc., etc. And yeah, I feel like it's just been sort of an upward spiral from there.
Yeah, and I mean, I was actually curious to hear your answer on that, because I think for a lot of the British and Irish community, there's one specific moment sort of when you were sort of crowned. I mean, obviously that first BIPL season is quite important to that whole journey. I think you were the main threat basically for Babz for that first position, and really came quite close. And I think that's when a lot of people started to wake up to your potential, and you proved that to us as a community during BIPC, and then most recently during Racers Summit. So like, are those all steps in the process, or were they like each kind of unique moment for you?
I don't know. I wouldn't say there were really steps in the process or anything. I feel like it just sort of, I've taken every competition as it comes. So like, for example, we had EMC recently, which went quite well for Wombo. I mean, Endo was playing with us. There was Boz, who was a main character in that team. And most recently, we had KOTT, which went pretty poorly, mainly because of a certain person called me. But I don't know. I try to take every competition like as it is, rather than, okay, I've done this. Now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do that. I don't know. I just sort of kind of do what I want in a sense. That sounds like a very bad wording for it, but yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, I think from watching Racers Summit myself and from hearing other people, one of the things a lot of people said about you is how relaxed and chilled you came across during the matches. Like it just felt like nerves were not existing during and after the matches, which is quite good to see. You may be good at hiding it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say there was that much nerves. Maybe it's because of my background with performing quite a lot. So I don't know. It's like nerves. I mean, of course, there's nerves, right? I'm not going to say that there's none, but it's kind of like I've gotten used to nerves, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was pretty relaxed. I was having a good time. I mean, I was going there for sort of a holiday and a little getaway. So for me, I just want to have a fun time, because I remember last time I didn't put much time into. I went to Gamax 2, sorry for context, and I spent maybe a week practicing for that, and I took it very, very seriously on the day, and I kind of left on a sour note rather than having a good time abroad. And this time I did all the prac that I needed, and I thought, okay, whatever happens, happens. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I wish I could take a holiday like that and just come out, winning Racers Summit. That's pretty pretty relaxing, Can't go wrong with that. You mentioned Gamax 2. So would you say that experience contributed to your performance at Racers Summit in a way?
Yeah, 100%. Because, like I said, I left on a sour note for Gamax 2 because I thought, shit, if I actually put the time in, I could have maybe done something. But because all my prep was so last minute, it just didn't go well. So for Racers Summit, I pretty much started my prep the day the maps came out, and I was putting maybe an hour a day at least. And yeah, the hours built up, and I got pretty good at the maps.
You did.
One thing I like to remember from time to time is Spammy. I don't know if it was during Gamax 2 or if it was this Racers Summit, but when he was doing the discovery and the first time he saw your name on the leaderboards, it's a bit of a joke within the ITM, but that he said Epos suck.
Yeah, that was
UK
the
at the
Gamax
end.
too.
And it's nice to know that obviously back then he didn't know who you are, but now he definitely knows who you are.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's like for that first initial thing, and then it spiraled where everyone called me Epo Suck. And yeah, I don't know.
You have to admit, it's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny, and I think that's gonna sort of stick with me. Like every time I make a mistake in a comp, Epo Suck. Yeah, great.
Where did
And,
the Vernon Dursley name come from? So I remember seeing that on the leaderboard for a while.
There was
That made me
literally no
laugh.
reason for that. I sort of just changed my name. I wanted to do a name change for whatever reason, and I recently rewatched the Harry Potters, and so I was like, all right, niche character from Harry Potter, Vernon. And so yeah, Vernon Dursley came to be.
And obviously, you know, Epos's sort of rise within the competitive scene has been highlighted sort of through those different competitions. But Ender, it feels like you've been around for a bit longer than maybe Epos has, and you've seen a few more facets of the game. So could you tell us a bit about your kind of beginnings in Trackmania and the journey that got you to here?
Well, for TM 2020, if I have to only describe that, let's say that up until I started playing TM 2020, I was a really big stadium hater. I did not like the environment at all. I despised it because the only form of it I knew was from Team 2 Stadium, and I barely ever touched it. But when I was in front of the Trackmania Turbo solo, and I needed to get all 200 STMs, I had to get good at Stadium as well. That was required. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy TM 2020. I'm gonna try and grind the game, learn the mechanics of Stadium, then come back to Turbo, get the STMs, and that's that. But the more I played TM 2020, the more I enjoyed the game, and I was like, okay, well, I'm starting to get a little good at Stadium, so might as well, make it my main game because Trackmania 2 has gotten pretty dead this when TM 20 came out. So yeah, a couple of the days were the main thing I was playing because there was really nothing else for me to play as a learner of Stadium. From there on, I learned fast learning. Then I saw some competitions I tried. Was pretty shit, really pretty shit because I was mostly a time attack player at the time. And yeah, met people, played rounds, met Wombo, played competitions, got better, and now here I am. I'm good, but I'm not, top tier. Like they're on my teams like Babz and Epos, but I'm trying to get there. It's definitely a wonderful process to learn and get better at an environment. It's definitely very enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I think you're definitely up there with those. I wouldn't push yourself down like that. It's interesting that you mentioned that you're a time attack player because I always thought that people who are good at time attack eventually will get better at rounds, right? And they'll be better than the people that are good rounds players and aren't so good at time attack. I feel like you're better off being a good time attack player and then going into competitive like that because it will transfer quite nicely.
Well, the thing is, I agree, but the thing is also the fact that I lacked any sort of consistency because I didn't need to be consistent in what I was doing. I just needed to set fast times to beat Super Trackmaster medals or solo times in Valley, for example. I didn't need to have any sort of consistency. Only when I started playing Cup of the Day, I was like, oh yeah, I need to not crash to stay longer in. And when I started playing EMC, I was like, okay, I need to actually have a good pace, but not make many mistakes so I can actually score points. So yeah, from that and onwards, I had to learn not to crash a lot because if you had seen my first few EMCs, man, I was crashing like every 2 rounds or something. It was disastrous.
That's sort of early competitive experience, and I know there's a lot of players going through that at the moment with the sort of influx that we've had within the community. it can be tough mentally because there is this sort of competitive culture that exists within the game. You know, Trackmania is built in that sort of way. And when you take your first steps into it, either representing yourself or under the banner of a team, the pressure can be quite a bit, and it's a difficult sort of hurdle to get over initially. Would you agree with that?
I completely agree, especially when you meet players that you've been watching from an exterior eye all those time. Like, oh wow, I'm playing against I don't know, Kebby, Thomas Jean, Boss Bez, those players that have played the game for longer than you did, been great at the game for longer than you did. You're under pressure. You feel like you have to push yourself to just be on their level. It's really a challenge. Mentally, it's difficult when you start.
And you've spoken about those players and the players that are on your team, and we wanted to touch on sort of the story of Wumbo and the team, its involvement, and what it is today. So, yeah, can you tell us a bit about what is Wumbo and how it came to be?
I can't.
For
I joined
you
too late.
guys.
I joined too late. I'm sorry. I have no idea.
I'm the same. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
How did you both get into Wumbo yourselves?
Yek.
Yak.
Yak just jumped in my. He saw my looking for team message in Trackmania News because I was trying to get into a team for the first time for competitive, and he saw my message. He DM'd me. I was like, "Oh yeah, you can come for us into trial for EMC." I was like, "Okay, great, cool. People I know in the team, sounds fun." Did the trial and got accepted. So yeah, fantastic. Just very very cool people. Yek he's a lovely person. So yeah, I think that's the same for Epos as well.
I have a little bit of a funny thing with that because I was on trial for Wumbo for maybe like a month or so, and it came to BIPC, and before the finals, he sort of sent a message like, if you beat Boz, you win your trial, you're in Wumbo, and so yeah, it was a sort of pre-match chat agreement, and yeah, I got into Wumbo because I beat Boz.
That's
So
a big
yeah,
ask.
yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, I had to beat the best in Wumbo to join Wumbo, sort of thing. And yeah, he took me off trial, and then I was in Wumbo. Woohoo!
And, am I right in saying that like before you actually went on trial with Wumbo, there was other teams interested in you at the time?
I mean, partially I was with Eminem on trial, which then later turned into Evo, and yeah, I left of my own accord for my own reasons, and yeah, I basically got a spot in Wumbo as a trial member. But as far as I'm aware, no one was looking at me other than Evo/Eminem.
Yeah, I think Wumbo's done a pretty good job to pick at the both of you, and it's pretty clear that they have an eye for talent, really, with some of the other names that they have, and it just feels like Wumbo have increasingly been getting stronger and stronger, and are really at the top of their game, really, in comparison to the other teams.
Lots of good names.
Yeah,
lots of good names in Wumbo. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a great performance from Wumbo overall at Racers Summit. And from that, I think it'd be quite good to touch on Racers Summit a little bit. I'm quite interested to hear from both of you. What first enticed you to go for Racers Summit? Starting with you, Epos. What was it?
For me, it was mainly just the fact that I'd went to Gamax with Bite Dam and Roy 6 months prior, and I wanted to go again because one, I liked the place. Like, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but Shavinger or something like that.
Scheveningen.
Yeah,
Scheveningen.
whatever it is. Yeah, it was pretty cool, and it was just fun to go there in general. And so the fact that I could sort of get my revenge match, yeah, that's all I wanted really. I just wanted to make up for a poor performance because there was always this meme as, oh, you got top 12 and Bite Dam got top 12. You're the same as Bite Dam, and then I was just but yeah, I've sort of made my little comeback, which is nice for me. But yeah, that's pretty much my reason for wanting to go to Racers Summit.
For me, it was just I don't know. Outside of Gamers Assembly Canyon, I've never really participated in a stadium LAN, also outside of France. So when I saw everyone was kind of hyping it up as the actual competitive version, I mean, sorry, not competitive version of Gamax, but like Gamax with stacked lineup, very high tier players going, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's the way. I have to go and play that. So I did. I bought a ticket, started training, and yeah, I just was pumped to go because it was also a fun trip, most and foremost for me as well. On top of the competitive aspect of it.
Minus getting brought out to bars at 1 a.m.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind. It was my first time going to a
Hey.
bar, so it was pretty fun.
Because there was quite a tight knit group of people that you traveled with, and sort of kind of thinking outside of the actual competition. Sort of you described it as somewhat of a holiday bus, but what was that experience meeting up with these people and going to a LAN and competing shoulder to shoulder with them?
I don't know. It sounds really strange, but sometimes when you meet people that you've spoke to online and then you meet them in person, there's a little bit of a like barrier at first. At least with some people, I've had it like that. But I don't know. It sort of clicked pretty much straight away with the British lot, and yeah, it was just pretty cool to play with them. I mean, I think the first people I met was Chris, Idol, Mono. Who else was there? There was Jay, and there was someone else that I'm not mentioning, but I can't remember because it was at 2 a.m. in a bar called Nelson's. But nah, I don't know. It was really nice because we've spoken to these people for what, maybe 2 years, give or take, and yeah, it was just pretty much instant click. So nah, it was really nice.
Yeah, and Ender, you sort of I guess tagged along, I guess, with the British lot, joining in the group. So what was it like experiencing the LAN experience with those guys?
Just like it was in the VC, they were all very welcoming, and I just knew pretty much all of them. Some more than others, of course, but I didn't really have any, let's say, bad expectations or anything, because I'm saying this from experience with GA. I've met people that I've talked to, again, French people for years and stuff. So it just instantly clicked again. We just talked instantly, had fun and stuff. It was great, honestly.
Because there was a small French contingency that made the trip to the Netherlands for this one, and which is quite surprising because often you have a majority of French or German people playing, and there were actually very few this time around. I mean, obviously it was Panda who got to the final. I mean, Speedself, who seems to be at every LAN that exists. But yeah, have you met those people before? Were they sort of on your radar?
The French people?
Yeah.
I've never met Panda before. Never really talked to him online either. And the other two Frenchies that I've known before were Hand and Speedself. And Han came with a friend of his called Hellpunk, which I had no idea who he was, but they're all friendly. They're all, chatting, friendly, comment ça va, tu vas bien, etc., etc.
The basics. The basics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
good
so,
to see you. Oh, go on, Babz.
Yeah, focusing more then, I guess, on the competition itself. Obviously, Epos, it went pretty well. So we'll start on Ender's side because it was a good performance, I would say, from my side. What was your sort of thoughts on it?
That was my performance. Honestly, I mean, I don't mean to sound like I'm expecting too much of myself, but for the amount of training I put into the maps, let's say 5 to 7 hours per map, sometimes even more, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't at least beat Complex in the match that I lost. I made a lot of mistakes that I shouldn't have made, consistency errors, dumb clips or whatever. I should have gone further, in my opinion. So pretty disappointing to have lost where I did. But I did play some good matches. It was fun, for sure. Even the match I lost was pretty fun, was pretty close and stuff. But yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I'll be better next time, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I mean, you've mentioned it yourself that you consider yourself more of a time attack player, but all that stuff just comes with experience, right? And over time, I'm sure you would bounce back stronger. And yeah, guaranteed. Honestly, you'd be fine with that. But yeah, Epos, what were your going into the final? I'm quite curious what your what your thoughts were, because obviously you're coming across some big names even before the final as well. Did your expectations change? Your process and how you approach the match, did that change at all?
I'll be honest. As soon as time attack seeding was finished, I thought in my head I probably should win, because the pace that everyone drove in time attack was good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I have PBs that are much better, and my rounds prac is better than the times that people did at the top. So for me, nothing really changed throughout the competition, except maybe towards the latter end, I got a little bit more nervous. Because, I mean, yeah, when you're facing off against, I think my winner bracket match was Mime, Grenady, and Panda.
Massa.
Yeah. Nah, it was Panda. Yeah. And when you see that you're against TMGL and TMCL players, when you're just this nobody, it's a little bit intimidating. It's like you're the underdog. But at the same time, people were saying to me the day before, oh, yeah, you should win this. Like, I think it was a comment from Massa where it was like, bro, with the amount you've put in, you should just win. No pressure. And it's like, yeah, I sort of felt the same thing. And yeah, nerves grew a little bit more. It's why in my upper bracket final match, it was a really, really shaky start. It's like I was sort of playing catch up until the end. And then I made a miraculous comeback on the last map. But yeah, I don't know. My feelings towards the finals specifically, I felt pretty good, maybe because of the comeback I made in the upper bracket final before the grand final. So yeah, I felt pretty good. Although the first thing actually is my first match that I had on day one was against Roy and Spam, which were the people that knocked me down in Gamax 2. So weirdly enough, that was actually my shakiest match. Like I saw those two join and instantly I was just like, oh no. even though like I saw their pace in time attack seeding and I know I should win, but it's just this thing, what if I crash? And then round 1, I crashed. Round 2, I crashed again. And yeah, I sort of had to play catch up on that match as well. But nah, it was pretty calm going into grand finals, I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things when as soon as you start to get into your own head, it starts to start crumbling a little bit.
Yeah,
I've had that myself with some of the old BIPL matches, that's for sure. But specifically the final round, the way you won, Racers Summit. I've seen the video on the BOTM channel.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and think, oh man, I can't wait to see the reaction on this. Epos is going to go mental. Watch it. Nothing. What the hell happened?
There's a reason for that though, because like I don't know whether you saw the yeah, you said you saw the clip. I don't know why I'm saying that. But I crashed maybe 15 seconds before. I had like a mini clip, and then I saw going into the last CP that I was second. And since I'm HUD off, even though I had number on my car because I can't use stuff like DOSARD, because they didn't allow Open Planet for whatever reason. Don't know why, but another story. But yeah, I saw 2 on my car and I thought, man, I can't catch on the last segment. It's over. Like I can't win this round. And so I pretty much finished the track and I looked around and I said, I should have won, man. I'm so stupid. And then I turned back round. I see GG in the chat and then I look and I've won and I'm just like, what? So I didn't know that I'd won when I'd won. And so, yeah, hence the pretty shitty reaction from me.
No, I think his reactions go. That'll be like remembered for a long time. I think you won't get that reaction.
We won't let you forget about it. Yeah.
The most underwhelming reaction to a tournament win in tournament history. I'm just like,
yeah, I think you're happier in getting into grand finals than actually winning the grand final, dude.
Yeah.
I was watching from all the way like in the middle room, like where there was a giant screen, and I heard the yes from all the way. It was so loud.
Yeah, that probably would have been my reaction as well, but I didn't know I'd won.
Because I was going to say in that video at the end, the first person to come and congratulate you is Ender, which is a kind of nice full circle sort of thing. And Ender, from your experience, watching Epos in that final with the other BITM guys, what was the feeling in that room, as you were saying?
During the final round?
During the final, just watching Epos, yeah.
Oh, I knew Epos would win. I just was wondering how many rounds in finals he was going to throw before he actually pulls it off.
I didn't even throw one. I
Yeah,
got
I
it on
know.
the first.
Honestly, when I saw your like first half of the match, I mean, I was already confident that you would win, although I was still hopeful. I saw your first half of the match. I saw that they were not even matching your pace or your consistency, and I was like, yeah, I mean, they're not gonna beat that unless he somehow disconnects his controller in the middle or something. Like, there's no way you would lose a match like this. When you actually won, well, I was kind of stressed at first for you because of that clip you did, but then I saw Masa did the thing, so yeah, props to him.
Yeah, thanks, Massa.
Thank you, Dennis.
And I was gonna say, actually, that you touched on it. Maybe that sort of stumble that you had in the upper bracket final, you know, the difficult starts to that match, and actually overcoming that, maybe is sort of was a mental boost for you going into the final. Sort of gave you that sort of confidence that yeah, you can make a mistake, but that's fine. You can come back from it.
Yeah, it did, like massively, because I think I had in it for me anyway. I had the worst start to a match that I should have, because the map that we played was a map called Think Twice, and I was pretty good in prac. Like I never really messed up the first drift, and then I think it was 3 rounds on the trot. I messed up the first drift, and it just cost me every time. And so
Yeah,
the
that
fact
drift is
that
tough.
I could keep pretty calm throughout the rest of the match, I think it was a massive mental boost for me. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I felt pretty good that I could sort of make a steady comeback. And then, yeah, on the last map, I just made win every round. Because I think there was one map from Panda. Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of the map, but it was by
Manga?
Mello. No,
Oh
no,
no, the Everglades.
Everglades, yeah. And he had like a crazy map. Like he was getting the world records of 0.6 and he did 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, 0.7 every round. And I thought, Panda's in this zone, man. And I thought, okay, just go for second. That's all you need. Second is free. Just play your game. And eventually, just by playing my game, I got first in that match in the end. So yeah, it was a massive mental boost, the fact that I could come into the grand final knowing that I made a comeback from a terrible start to a match.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the maps in general? Because obviously you've got Mime's map is quite a traditional, pretty top quality comp map from what I've seen. I haven't played the map, so obviously I'm just basing it off what I've seen. But there was obviously a few other maps that were probably you could consider a bit on the danker side of comp mapping. But starting I can't talk. Starting with you, Ender. What did you think of the comp maps?
If I were to give a general opinion of the map pack, I would say it's a good map pack. Some maps are flawed in some turns because of visibility issues, calculation issues. For example, if you take Stir Fruit, which is the tank RPG map with the 360 and identity at the end. First part of the map, you have a very blind jump into plastic, which decides like 0.2, very blind, very random. So, Mellow's map, you have a dirt that is very difficult to get consistently, plastic jump, jump drift, pretty poor calculation on that section of the map. The other maps are more classic, but they had their own issues. I don't know if Epos will agree with me, but for example, the last drift on both Think Twice and Danger Close were pretty blind drifts. But outside of these small flaws, the maps are pretty good, I would say. Pretty good map pack, in my opinion. Definitely could have been better, but I will not complain.
It's good to see. Yeah, I was wondering, like, though myself, I'm curious to see what you guys think as well. But obviously the dank map. I mean, you all looked pretty good on it overall. And obviously we've got this BIPL map by Mime, which is featuring some new outside the box thinking. And I'm not thinking the ice in general, but like the RPG sections. How do you guys feel about these kind of wacky elements being implemented into comp mapping? Because I feel like we're at a stage now with comp mapping where a lot of players that do play comp are kind of familiar with what turns to expect on what surfaces. Especially with dirt, I feel like you can kind of expect an outside dirt turn that everyone's kind of drove before. So I'm wondering, part of me thinks like these wacky sections are maybe kind of good for comp because it's throwing people outside the comfort zone and, you know, putting them in a position where they actually have to learn the map, you know, rather than being something that's familiar to them. But how do you guys think about that?
Well, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, like you say, I think it's nice to throw something out there that people are not used to because, like you say, everyone kind of knows what to expect. You'll have like a shallow drift, you will have a PF grass turn, as always, in every comp map. You'll have an outside dirt, you'll have maybe precision dirt, and everyone is sort of used to it. So, yeah, I think it's nice to have a change where you have, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but when you have an ice slide, when it's not determining the whole map, I like it. Wizzy, on your map, smile. But yeah, when you have like an RPG section. I mean, a better example, I think, there was a map in EMC called Trico. I think, yeah, it was
Mephisto
Trico.
map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that map is just sick because it's really unique. You can actually gain in every section, and people don't know what to expect. And so I think it's a really, really good map, a good way to go for it. But for me, I mean, objectively, Cold is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a fan of gear drop RPG jumps. Is like for me. But nah, I think in general to have something a little bit out there is good for comp mapping because maybe it's getting a little bit boring for some people.
I completely agree. I'm of the opinion that comp maps at one point are getting very repetitive in their difficulty and what to expect for each and every turn, as Epos said. Which is why I like having some RPG sections, some jumps, you know, and whatnot. But if they are well integrated into the map and if they are well calculated, that is, they are very good additions. However, if you have, as Epos said, gear to drop RPG or sections that decide 0.5 on an ice slide or a jump, I think they have no place in the map because the map is decided in one spot and it's like an identity and nobody likes having time decided on an identity. So I think it's what makes the difference between maps like Bonga and Stirfruit. You have the very classic mixed map, and you have the very dank TMGL-ish map with time to gain literally everywhere. So I think a mix of these two would make for the perfect kind of mixed map, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely agree with Epos.
Yeah, I think there's definitely sort of a wave of new ideas that can come in there into sort of comp mapping, which could be very refreshing. And you know, there's a trend nowadays to be not necessarily toxic, but be negative when you see something that you don't enjoy or you don't recognize. I guess is from the community, but I feel like in competition, especially when there is maybe a map which is, you know, eccentric, kind of unique and something you have to learn, especially for the players who might be the underdogs and not the favorites, that's an opportunity for them to one up somebody. Because if you can understand that better than someone, and I think Stirfruit was a really good example of that. I saw the like TMGL players really struggling with the start section, and over again, Epos and Babz, I think I noticed both of you just gaining 0.1, 0.2 every single start. And kind of it just seemed like you understood the line better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you say, it's nice to have a map where training actually pays off because I mean, with normal comp maps, they've seen these turns hundreds and hundreds of times, and since they have maybe double, triple, quadruple the hours that I have, if I can get a map where training a sector is good for me, then yeah, I'm just happy. I don't know what Ender thinks, but yeah, for me, it's good.
Definitely agree. The problem with mixed maps in general these days, I would say, is that some of them are glorified tech maps, and those players with thousands of hours on tech competitive maps clearly have the edge there. There's no point in making those maps, in my opinion. They're just catering to players from the older games. Mixed maps and more modern stuff, ice, grass, plastic, jumps, whatever, gives for a more unique and diverse playing field, in my opinion, other than having Think Twice, for example, which was literally just a glorified tech map. You had drift determining the whole map and one grass PF turn. That's it. Like, that map was clearly way easier for a TMGL player, for example, like Massa, to be great on compared to, for example, Stirfruit, which is way more complex. I mean, obviously he plays those maps in TMGL as well, but it definitely gets him out of his comfort zone. I would say.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I feel like a lot of people build mixed tech because a lot of the time, maybe it's just because of the inexperience of most people in these competitions now, but a lot of the time gain is on the tech. Whereas maybe it could be the way they're building it, but like with the dirt and grass, there's a lot less time gain on those. So maybe that's why they kind of don't include those services more so than the tech. But I think there's clear examples of maps that where dirt and grass time gain is capable. And I know Ski Freak is obviously a great mapper that can do great time gain on grass sections on some maps. And the ASICS map from EMC, I don't know if you guys remember that one. There's a lot, even though there was time gain on the tech sections. There was also a lot of time gain on the dirt and the plastic and grass sections on that map too. So it's clear that it's possible, but yeah, I guess mappers just kind of sway away from it.
For sure.
I think this is just how the mix is going to evolve. One day we're just going to have 5 stir fruits per map pack, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, that's normal. 5 stir fruit Trico per map pack. So, yeah.
Well, there might be disagreements on that, but I think one thing we can all agree on is that it's good to see some LAN Trackmania and have these LAN competitions happening. And we can all, I think, thank Traeger and the whole Dutch community for putting that on.
100%.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to ask you both individually then, moving on from this LAN, what's next for you both? Obviously competitively, but also looking forward to any more LANs in the future. Are there any plans for you guys to sign up to some of them, maybe starting with Epos?
I mean, as of now, there's nothing other than BIPL for me. But I mean, yeah, if something comes up in the future, I mean, I know there's XP Evo just around the corner. I think that's in late December, no, September.
September.
Yeah, late September, which is sadly one I can't make. But I mean, the one after that, if it's doable for me, then yeah, I'd like to go to as many lands as I can because it's just fun, to be honest. No other reason really. I enjoy the time. I enjoy playing competitive. So yeah, if I can go to a competitive format, then yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah, and Ender?
Yeah, I'll try to show up at XP Evo. We'll have to see, but I'll definitely try. Maybe World Cup, maybe Ascension, maybe something else that comes up in the future. I'm gonna try and look for solo competitions as well, because I've only been playing most of the time team tournaments. So something that is solo can also be pretty fun. So yeah, I'll see what I can do in the future. Yeah, as many lines as I can, I'll try to show up to, because it's really fun.
Like you were saying, trying to develop, sort of try and reach those levels of maybe some of your teammates then.
Yep, definitely.
Well, I think that sort of wraps it up for Racers Summit. And if you've watched the podcast before, you might know what's coming. Epos, you probably know what's coming now. You've done this before. And I don't know if you've watched before, but there is sort of a nice little enjoyable segment that we do from time to time. Well, no, not from time to time. We do it every episode and we enjoy it very much. It is going to be the Cuppa quiz, and I'm going to send you over to a very special host for this edition.
Okay.
Yes, I'm hosting this one this time. It's a bit of a surprise. I know it's quite the shock, yeah. But big thank you to Yek and Hendo for helping me with these questions. You're gonna both love these. I'm really satisfied with how these have turned out. And of course, I will explain the rules for each question as we get through them. And I trust you both not to do any cheating, on the internet. Like I'll see the light reflection off your monitors on your face, and the chat will decide whether you cheated or not.
Sure.
But we will.
Because you're looking at your phone.
Yes, man, this is my phone.
Oh, you got is that a loop station?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. It's good. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for the quiz. So
I'm ready.
Going for question 1. Excluding yourselves, who were the 8 players who were top 10 in the Racers Summit seeding? Now, for this, we'll take it one by one, starting with Ender. And we'll go one by one, giving one name each until we run out of names.
Massa?
So let me I've got it up on a monitor, one sec. That is one of them, yeah.
Just to clarify, it's the top 12, right?
Top 10, sorry.
Top 10. Okay, Babz.
Boz was not top 10 in the seeding.
Oh, in the seeding.
Well, in the seeding, maybe I didn't say maybe I didn't phrase it right in the question. We'll go. We'll give you another guess.
Okay. Complex.
Yes. And
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Stuft.
That's correct.
Panda.
That's correct.
Juicy.
That is correct.
Grenady.
Yes. There is 2 more, I believe, excluding the 2 of you.
Mime?
That's correct. There's 1 more, I believe.
Jan TM.
That's correct. Nice.
Damn.
Damn, you guys are on fire. Okay.
The spreadsheet pulled up.
Man, a lot of these questions are going to be in the mud if you have the spreadsheet, have the Wikipedia open. But question number 2. This is going to be closest to the number wins. Okay. How many French and Dutch players competed in Racers Summit? So you can talk about it to yourselves, how many you think there are, or you can keep it to yourselves. But I'll be taking the closest to the number who wins. So, how many French and Dutch players competed in Racers Summit? Chat can participate in this as well if they'd like.
Yeah, I have a question. Do we include ourselves?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I've got a rough guess.
Okay. When you're ready to, when you give your answers, I'm all ready.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I still need to count the Dutchies. I'm sorry.
Or is it actually counting and all?
All right. I'll give you 10 more seconds, Ender.
All right, fine. I think I forgot like 1 or 2, but sure.
Okay. Ender, how many are you going for?
5 Frenchies, me, Han, Hellpunk, Speedsoft, and Panda. And 6 Dutchies. Spam, Jan van Spike, Juicy, Complex, Lumar, Stuft, obviously. And I forgot the rest.
I think they were just asking for a number, by the way.
Oh, well, whatever. I mean, sorry.
I mean, if Epos thinks a different number,
I think 12.
you go with 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the correct answer is actually 11, and they got it. Hang on, despite explaining it every day.
Nerd.
Nice. Okay, so there's 2 points for Ender on that one. Now, this question is going to be similar to the first question, where you go back and forth. How many of the 9 mappers involved in making maps for Racers Summit can you name? This is starting with Epos.
Linhavenum something.
That's 1. That's correct. Back to you, Ender.
Mime.
That's correct. That's 2.
Also guinea pig.
That is correct.
Spec.
That is correct.
Wizzy.
Also correct.
Ski Freak.
Yeah, that's another one.
Mellow Yacht.
That's another one. 2 more.
Link VZA. VZH. I think that's his
We've
name.
already had that one by Epos.
No, he said also guinea pig. Link is a featured mapper that made the scenery.
No, Lin was his first guess?
That was my first.
Yeah.
I said Lin.
Oh. Yeah, I heard. I didn't hear because of the voice distorter. Okay, sorry. Wait. So you said Lin also.
Yeah, there's 2 more up for grabs.
Wait, I'm forgetting a map. I'm having a memory hole. I actually completely forgot a map.
Are you going to pass it on to
really
Epos?
2 more mappers.
Exotica.
Yeah, that's correct. There's 1 more. I don't expect
Nope.
you to get this one. I don't know the map myself.
No clue.
I think I know who it is. He's from the Everglades map. I think he's called Fabi.
That's correct. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty good, man. I can't believe you guys are nailing these questions. I thought you might struggle with these.
Well, to be fair, considering he's probably spent hours on the maps, saying the names and all, it's pretty common.
Well, after those Racers Summit questions, I think it's time we start bringing on the Wombo-related questions. And I know you said in the beginning of the stream that you joined quite late and that you probably don't know too much about it. So maybe the answers that you give now will be a bit more in the mud. But we'll see how it goes. So this is closest to the number wins. According to Liquipedia, how many players are in the Wombo roster? This is not including the managers, by the way.
Do you
I'm gonna throw a random guess.
know?
15. Random guess.
Okay,
I'll
Nendo?
go with 12.
Okay, well, the correct answer is 17. So Epos wins 2 points to that one. I can't believe there's 17 Wombo members. That's kind of crazy.
I thought there was a lot, but I didn't know how many. I just thought, okay, we had 10 people for EMC. There was some people that didn't play. Guess.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Now, these questions are sponsored by Yak. He helped me a lot with these ones as I was struggling. So I wish you the best of luck. How many followers does Wombo have on Twitter? Closest to the number wins. 2 points.
I'll guess 350.
Okay, and Epos?
150.
What was your guess, Epos? Sorry?
150.
150. Well, I can tell you the correct answer is well, by the time I checked it an hour ago, 126.
Oi.
So
we are
2
underdogs,
points
man.
for Epos. It's a pretty close battle, man. There's still a lot of points in it, though, guys. So
Follow the Twitter,
start
man.
worrying. Yeah, follow the Wombo Twitter. We're at it.
Follow Wombo on Twitter. We make yearly posts.
Exactly. You can't miss out.
Can't miss out.
Now, this question, Yak himself told me that there is a 99% chance that you won't get this. So,
Right.
what is this is worth 3 points. I guess first to give me the answer, what is the origin of the name Wombo? Maybe only Yak himself knows this.
I'm gonna say something completely random, but the animal, the wombat.
I like the guess, but that is incorrect. Epos?
Is
Anything?
it 5 original members from Emirates back in the day? I don't know.
No. All right. I'm going to give you both a clue. Maybe it probably won't help. It's from a kids' TV show. If that helps. I imagine it doesn't. It's from a meme of a kids' TV show.
A meme of a kids' TV show.
I have no
I
idea.
am gone.
If you give me both, you can give me one guess or a random kids' TV show, and I'll give you the answer if you get it right, or I'll give you the points if you get it right. This is hard.
I mean, he's not English, so it's not Tracy Beaker, is it?
Man, I wish it was, because that's a classic. But no, it's not Tracy Beaker.
I honestly have no clue. I don't know that many kids' TV shows that are not French, at least.
Yeah. All right, are we passing?
Is it from Ed, and Eddie? I don't know.
Ed, oh my god, you're bringing up some classics now. I would like to talk about.
I have no
UK
idea.
TV shows, but...
I'm so gone.
The correct answer is SpongeBob.
What?
Yep.
Elaborate.
It's from a meme from SpongeBob. You're gonna have to talk to Yek about that one. He sent me the link. I can probably put it in the chat at some point. But yeah, that's what it's from.
Okay.
Lost.
Cool.
So
So I have to like SpongeBob from now on, apparently. Not like I already didn't, but
yeah, that was a difficult one. I wouldn't stress about that one. Still a lot more points up for grabs, though. Again, this is kind of like buzzer. First, give me the answer. Who was Emirates Esports' first recruit?
Jake Ray.
That's incorrect. Ender?
Babz?
That's correct. That's I didn't give any 2 points for that one. We'll go.
No, there's written 1 point. On
Is
the
it?
screen.
Oh, I didn't see. There we go. 1 point.
Yeah.
That one I didn't put a number on my little notepad, so I'll go with 1. Okay, another buzzer question. In fact, we could probably use buzzers from Discord.
What?
Yeah, I know. There's a soundboard on Discord. If you open it, it's above. Yeah, there you go. One of you's found it.
Right.
Okay, so both of you can pick a sound.
I'm a duck.
So Epos the duck. Ender. Can you see it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, those can be our buzzers. I'm hoping the chat can hear that as well. I'm assuming they can. But yeah, those would be your buzzers for these questions. So, in Wumbo, there are 3 nations which are represented by exactly 3 players each. What are the 3 nations? Ender?
France, England. Fuck.
Okay.
Oh!
I think Epos really knows the answer.
Epos knows. Yeah, go ahead. I can't.
Isn't the last one Denmark?
Wait, so what are your 3 choices?
So it's England, France, Denmark.
That's incorrect.
Incorrect. Ooh.
So it's still up for grabs. So I'll give you.
Ooh.
Any of you can buzz at any one time. I'm not going to tell you which one is wrong, but one of them is incorrect.
It's
2 of them you've got correct.
France. But who's the third? Who is the third? I don't know. I'm trying to think of human beings, but I
Ender?
France, England, and Norway.
That's incorrect.
can't. I can't think of Wombo members. This is really bad.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll start giving you hints as we go along. The French one was correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's me, Salty, and Fonter.
Yeah. So, what are the
Yeah.
other 2 nations?
Oh, it's 3 players exactly, not
Yeah, I'll read
3
the
or
question
more.
again. In Wumbo,
I mean,
there
I
are
guess
3
England.
nations which are represented by exactly 3 players each. What are the 3 nations? We know France is one of them. What are the other 2?
Do Davigno count as England? Acres is well. So there's 2 Brits.
Okay, I'll give you another hint. England is not one of the nations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Denmark and who? Denmark and who? Okay, Netherlands, Bosch.
That is incorrect. Ender?
Oh, wait, sorry. I have a cat delivery. Just 1 sec.
Okay.
Say hi.
Who's the third man?
It's him.
Okay, so you've got France. The second one is Denmark.
Yeah.
What is the third? Come on, Babz is crying right now.
It can't be
Boss.
UK. It can't be England. It can't be Wales.
Okay, I'm gonna give you both 30 seconds. Otherwise, there's 0 points to either of you. I could take one guess from each of you now, if you'd like.
I forfeit.
I'm confident in my
Take the points.
my Denmark. In
Yeah,
Denmark, I'm
Denmark is the
confident.
second one.
Yes.
There's France, Denmark, and there's one more. Yeah, 10 more seconds.
Uh,
Okay, Yex put a hint.
check.
That's
Czech.
correct. Czech Republic.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Who are the Czech players?
I have no idea. I just guessed because I thought of Kiro. Maybe there's someone else.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know who the players are. I've only got the nationalities, but
Are we
Yeah, it's-
counting trial members?
Oh, Hill
Uh,
and
Yeah,
Bestie.
that's what I'm thinking now. I wasn't counting them in my head.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. Because
This
they're
question's from
trial.
Yak. We'll have to ask him.
Yak, man.
Yeah, come on, trial members.
Not official members.
Okay, for the final question by Yak.
Okay.
This is for 2 points. Again, buzz around. In Wumbo,
Right
who
on the buzzer.
had the most earnings in one tournament? Oh man, that was
Epos?
exactly the same time. Chat, I need help from chat on that one. Who buzzed first on that one, chat? Because that sounded exact same to me. And I'm seeing Ender. Go, Ender. What is your answer?
Vernon Dursley.
Me.
Epos.
That is incorrect.
What?
Whoa!
Oh
Yeah, it's
no!
funny.
I know!
Okay.
I know!
It's thrown to Epos. Yek was telling me that this is
Ah.
like a trick question, and whoever buzzed first is going to say Epos.
I know.
Is
I know.
it Jake Ray?
That's correct. It's J. Cray.
No way!
Yes, he
No.
won, I believe, 1,000 euros from the Nordic Trackmania thing. I don't remember the exact
Damn.
name of it. I think it's that.
Damn, Jay.
But yeah, J. Cray, he's popping off. He's loaded, man.
Okay, I'm changing nationality.
Okay, now we move on to the questions by the wonderful Hendo22, who I'm sure is a fan favorite to many in the BITM community.
Love Hendo.
This question is he directed to you, Ender. This is worth it'd be 1 point for the nearest second, 10th, and 100th. What is your PB on TMM Ethereal?
No way! You took that question.
He was telling me that you've put so many hours onto this map that you should know this.
Yeah, but my time is dog shit. But I remember it's 0.3 off the record. The record is a 40. It's a. Do I need to tell the second?
So
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a point for the second, the 10th, the second, the 10th, and the 100th, depending on.
I
You know.
don't remember the second exactly.
Maximum
man.
of 3 points.
I know it's
Yeah.
a 92. I think it's a 92. The 100th and the 10th. I think it's a 92. But the second, I don't know if it's a 49 or a 48. I'm conflicted. Wait.
I'll give you 15 more seconds.
14 hours on the map, and I don't remember my time.
Okay, 5 more
40,
seconds.
48. 48.92. Whatever.
Okay, I can tell you your time was at 46.92. You're better than you think, Ender. Okay,
Ooh.
2 seconds faster than you think.
2
To be
seconds.
honest.
Bro's
Wow.
flying.
So that's
Tech
2
prodigy.
points, I believe, for Ender, which is pretty good memory, man, I have to say. I would struggle with a question like that. But throwing it back to Epos.
Oh, God.
Question is gonna be on candy.
What is your Hendo did say candy, but then he took it back and decided to go with a different map because he said it would annoy you that you don't have world record on this map. And it's what is your PB on BIPL Sharpen?
54.34.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
I could tell you your time is a 54.36. So yeah, that is unreal though. To be fair, how close you guys are getting that.
I mean, I'm 2
So it's-
seconds off. I'm very
yeah.
close.
2 points for Epos on that one. Now back to Ender. What was the final score of your 1v1 with Shadowcrancer on Incendiary?
5-3.
Is that your final answer?
5-3.
I've got down 5-2.
Oh!
Maybe Hendo's got the facts wrong on that one. He did send me a screenshot, which looks like it confirms it was 5-2.
I feel like it was 5-2, yeah.
I
You smashed him. That's my
I-
teammate right there.
Yeah, Ender, the guy says he's not up there with the bosses and the Eposes of the world, smashing Shadowcrancer. Which is, it's pretty good, man.
I didn't smash him. I legit thought it was 5-3.
Hey, it's close. You just one off. It's all right. It's fine. Now, Epos,
Hi.
During EMC, Hendo
Yeah.
got psyched out by seeing you play an offline version of Ignition. What was the name of said offline map?
Engine ignition.
That's correct. That's 2 points.
Engine
Oh.
ignition.
Oh, that was so funny, actually. He kept messaging me like every day during the EMC saying, "What's your PB? What's your PB? What have you found? What have you done?" Oh, that's funny.
Right, now this is the final question. I can say that this one is only worth 2 points, so that in fact means that Epos has won. However, there's still,
Congratulations,
you could make it
Thank you.
super close if you win this one, Ender. Now,
Doing
this
the
is
best.
another tough question. During Hendo's 1v1 with Babz in EMC on Ignition, Babz was on match point and Hendo crashed. What did Babz then do?
He
Ender?
crashed too?
That's incorrect. Epos?
He went safe in.
Can you be more specific?
He went backwards into safe in.
That's correct.
Oh wow. I have
That is a
no
toughie.
memory of that, honestly.
Yeah, that's 2 points. Yeah.
Yay.
Well, so okay. I mean, Hendo is saying that would be a bit tough for you, Ender. I have to say, he's saying you might struggle with that one.
Yeah, that
but
was
I
just
mean,
a match I watched from Spectator, so I
Yeah.
don't really have many memories of it.
I mean,
yeah.
I was also a spectator. What can I say?
I mean, what a pretty solid quiz overall. I have to say, it's back and forth, but Epos takes the victory on that one, 19 to 14. But I think we'll bring Babz back in now, and we'll do a bit of BIPL talk. I know, Ender, you're not too familiar with the BIPL, but we wanted to do some sort of predictions type thing. I know you're familiar with at least the top field of the BITM community. Thought we'd do a little discussion and talk what we think what our predictions are of the BIPL would be.
Wow, that was some quiz. I think you definitely done yourself proud. I felt like a proud dad just watching all of that unfold. But that was really, really good. Obviously, it took a bit longer, I think, than expected, mostly because of that Czech Republic question. But we move. Yeah, so that was very fun. I think exactly as Jorday said, we are going to do some predictions about BIPL. Before we do so, I kind of just wanted to talk to you, Epos, about this upcoming season, because season 1 you got a second place behind Babz. It was kind of, you're showing up, showing yourself to the world, and season 2 is happening now. Obviously, some similar names to the first edition. What are your expectations for yourself in BIPL season 2?
I'm not going to be able to put as much time as I did the first season, so I'd be pretty happy if I got a top 4 spot, to be honest. Like, of course, I'd like to win. Sure, everyone would. But I think from what I've seen, Babz is playing like his life depends on it. So I think I have no chance.
I think you got a fair shot. I mean, from what I saw in seeding, I know it's not a fair representation because obviously Babz, Wizzy, I don't think put as much time into the seeding maps, and Crows as well. It looked like you and Babz were a clear top 2 from what it looked like. So I'd say you've got a fair shot at top 4. And I know seeding you can't put as much time in, but I think you probably don't need as much time to retain a top 4.
Maybe not. I'm not the best fast learner, so I don't know. If I don't put time into maps, I go into the mud. But who knows? We'll see. Like, I'm pretty pracked for my first match at least because I've got hours on the seeding maps. But I think after this, where I have to learn new maps, I think maybe I have no chance. But we'll see.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of a sort of top of the field, like a top 5 players, and then there's a sort of best of the rest. Feels like those top 5 might be yourself, Babz, Crows, Hendo, and Wizzy. And I think
Sounds
it's
about
going to be interesting to see how that sort of plays out. Ender, as sort of an outside perspective, Do you have a preference, or are you leaning one way or another? Like, is one player going to take it over the other four? So, for anyone who might be listening on Spotify after the episode, Ender
Oh,
just
sorry.
pointed to Epos.
No, but in all seriousness, I think that great about the IPL tournament is that the top of the field is very much stacked, and even if you think that a player is better than another, anything can happen, and they're all as good as each other. I feel like when it comes to high pressure rounds, Balls could take it if he doesn't fuck up. Wizzy could take it. Epos could take it. Hendo, like anything could happen. It's really really cool. But I obviously am rooting for my teammates, Crows as well, rooting for him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it develops.
And sort of looking down the table, I guess, Epos, there seems to be a bit of a midfield sort of battle that could
Including
brew
you two?
Yeah, which is why you're going to do the prediction. But there is a bit of a midfield there. Obviously, myself, Jorday, there's N7, Jaffa, Nobody as well. Do you have a name maybe in your mind who you think might be the best of the rest?
If I'm honest, I mean, you might think I'm saying this because you two are here, but you two and N7 is the people that I would look towards. Because I mean, I joined the rounds back room and like you were banging out 0.5s and 0.4s on some Petal Gardens. I think Jorday was just consistent every single round. And so, yeah, you two and N7, I think. I mean, sure, anyone can do good, but I don't know, consistency prevails and you three have it. So, yeah, probably you three.
Yeah. We have not paid Epos to say that, by the way. I'll say the episode is not sponsored by Good Focus in any way.
Yeah, it's a weird one because seeding, obviously, like for me, seeding went quite well. I'm quite pleased with how the seeding went overall. But there's a few names in there that do scare me because I don't think I can put up a fight versus someone like Jaffa, for instance, who makes me think maybe he's not full training. I don't know, but on a good day, Jaffa
versus Jaffa.
I don't know.
And he's just from Racers Summit, so he's got money to put on it.
I do have money to put on it, yeah.
Yeah, Jaffa's the one who, like, in that, and Babz obviously, that kind of scary because Babz's pace is like pretty insane. And Jaffa is proven in the past that he can put in a good performance. So those kind of scare me. And I mean, even Nobody, right? When Nobody, I remember from
fair point.
BIPC 1.
Blocked him.
Yeah, BIPC 1. I remember Nobody being one of the names that I'd like look up to TA wise. Be like, oh man, he's one of the top dogs. I want to try and get the times that this guy's getting. And yeah, I'm quite scared to see how well he will do really if he's put in the full time or not.
Yeah, I mean, if Nobody's consistency is there, then yeah, I mean, his pace has always been there. It's not even a question. No one will question it. So yeah, if he can just bang out round after round, then yeah, Nobody even poking into top 4, maybe. And also, I don't know, this is a little bit of a wild card in my head, but am I right in saying Josh, the full speed player, is in Div 1?
He is. Yeah,
I think maybe because I know it's completely different styles, right? But because he's probably played high level matches in full speed cups, maybe he will have no stress in matches. So maybe he'll be consistent. I don't know. I have no idea. But to me, that makes sense in my head. Like if you can play high pressure matches, even if it's in a different style, you should be able to play pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the names that deserves a shout out because he's made not necessarily a transition, but has focused a bit more on mixed competitions recently, and definitely shown that making Div 1. And somebody else who deserves a shout out is Bagels as well, who has come out of his nest in the ice community and has opened his eyes to the real Trackmania. But
exactly,
that is the way.
That is true.
But actually, just ahead of Josh, two names that maybe are going under the radar a slight little bit are Liffy and Vinyo. Yeah. Who Vinyo in Div 1 this time, no seeding mistakes, and they can very easily hike themselves up into that sort of fight for the midfield and things. But looking even just above them in seeding is a name that I think a lot of people have been impressed with very recently in the recent weeks, and that's Floyd's, who seeded 11th and who showed quite good pace in those rounds. So could be sort of a not necessarily a dark horse, but one to watch in terms of increasing performance.
Yeah,
For
Floyd's
sure.
is one of the ones that's really excited me from when I saw the results of the seeding, because I don't think many people maybe expected him to be up there, especially in the middle of Div 1. Yeah, it feels like over the last 3 months he's really stepped up his game, and his level overall has been top notch, really. And seeing him, he's in the rounds survey, he's practicing, he's putting in the effort. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts in a few upset performances, especially in his matches.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Floyd seems, from what I saw in BIPC prospects, I think he was pretty consistent every round as well. And I know this is so boring to say, but consistency really is the thing that gives you wins in matches. So if you have a top player that's having really shaky rounds, like he's doing 0.3 off WR, then he's crashing twice, then he's back to 0.3 for 2 rounds and then crashing, Floyd ends up winning that at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of faith in Floyd. I'm a Floyd fan.
Yeah, it's really nice to see sort of this I guess BITM circuit, you could call it, with BIPC and BIPL and any competitions in between, where you've got these players really sort of developing a competitive pedigree. And Epos is one of the examples of that, and showing that on the world stage. Now, I think we can be very thankful that we've got these sorts of competitions within our community, because you don't get them frequently within other areas of the community. So yeah, really nice. I think I'm very much looking forward to this season. I think there's a lot of players who have something to prove and have the bit between their teeth. And I can announce that, I mean, you'll see it in the tweet tomorrow morning, but the casters for tomorrow will be Nua and Twiggy on the main channel.
Damn, top
So
quality.
My
high
favorite
quality
caster
casting.
duo.
Exactly. I think a lot of people have them as their favorite caster duo, and there will be a second stream additionally, one from OC, which will then be followed up by Pastor, who'll be covering most games, which means that we will have all of the Div 1 matches on a stream, which is very nice, and that's something we're very proud of. Yeah, with Doc as well, with help from Doc. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it. There's an interesting Div 1 fight going on. There's also an interesting Div 2 fight, and a lot of players invested in that one. Unfortunately, I don't know if we have the time to cover all of that, but yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is too.
100%. I mean, at the top of Div 2 is like Big Q, right?
Yeah, Vic
Yeah.
Q, Padster, has a few names there.
It's good. I remember seeing the seeding for Div 2, and I think who was in the call? Was it a call with you, Babz? I think I was, wasn't I? We were talking about how it feels like it's fairly evenly matched in Div 2. Like there's going to be some really nice matches.
Yeah, there's Shawnee Wolf as well from Good Focus, who unfortunately just missed out on Div 1, but should be a contender at the top of Div 2 for sure.
If Sean plays, Sean is going to clap cheeks for sure.
Yeah.
Sean is actually good when he wants to be.
That's the quote I'm going to use to promote this episode. Every time, like the previous ones have been like Spam talking seriously about his investment. This is just going to be Sean can clap cheeks if he plays.
Sean can clap cheeks if he wants to.
That is perfect.
You heard it here first. But yeah, I think we have pretty much covered everything. Yeah, unless you have any more questions on your side, Jorday.
No, I think that wraps it up pretty nice. I feel like we covered quite a lot there, especially the Racers Summit and the quiz. Yeah, I'm just excited to see what's next in BIPL. Really, I've talked to Hendo about this, but I put a lot of time into these maps. I'm trying to put a good effort in, at least.
Hey,
Well, we'll see how it goes, but I do want to perform well, so we'll see how the matches
Hopefully
go.
you do good.
Yeah.
If you put the
100%.
hours into practice, there is nothing that should go wrong.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's advice that everybody can take on. And there are some players who are playing for a spot on a team during this competition. I won't reveal who, but there are some names who have some ulterior motives during this competition. But yeah, very much something to look forward to. Something you could follow exactly on this channel or streaming right now. There will be Nua and Twiggy here tomorrow. I guess I'll be passing it on to them, but look forward to that tomorrow evening. The first games of BIPL Season 2. We've had a great Season 1. Season 2 should be just as good. yeah, unless we have anything else to say, I think the last thing I want to do is just thank both Epos and Ender for joining us this evening. Epos, your second showing. There's been a lot happened since your first one. Hopefully there'll be even more happening before your third appearance.
Yeah, hope so, dude. Hopefully next time I come back and I'm, Epos world champion of Trackmania. Copium.
And Ender, I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what we could talk about with you. So hopefully we'll have you on for another episode in the future. Maybe.
It was a pleasure. Would love to be
Yeah.
here again, honestly.
Well, brilliant stuff. Thank you both. Thank you, Jorday, as well, for co-hosting this with me.
Yeah, thank you, man. Glad to be here.
So yeah, as I said, keep an eye out for the British and Irish Trackmania socials. There's always something happening. Take a look at the YouTube as well. Padster doing some brilliant work on that. Some content coming out regularly. And last thing to do is just, winka, and we'll see you for another episode
Bye-bye.
in the recent future.